It has been a weird week for people who are curious about whether Gal Gadot is still Wonder Woman or not. I imagine this is mostly because she has a new movie that came out on Netflix called Heart of Stone, and the interviews for that are dropping. A lot of them seem to have been recorded or produced before the writers and actors strikes, at least definitely before the actors strike. So they have information from a couple of months ago. And you figure, well, a month ago, didn't they know if she was or was not going to be Wonder Woman? You'd kind of figure they did, but I think now it's way more clear. The main reason I think this is true is because in one of the interviews, she says she does not know who is going to play Superman. And we have known that David Cornsweet is going to be Superman for a while. And I'm sure if she is still plugged in as much as she is now, she would know that. So it seems like that interview was from before she knew who Superman was, before any of us knew who Superman was. And today we finally got a confirmation that she is in fact not going to be playing Wonder Woman in a Wonder Woman 3 movie, that maybe was being developed at some point, but that has been cut off. And I want to say two things about that. First thing, good. It is good that they're not going to be making more movies in this universe and keeping some of the actors and not any of the rest of them, right? I think people were mad when she said she was going to do this movie for a bunch of reasons, but one of the reasons was I saw people online saying, wow, you got rid of Henry Cavill, even though you brought him back, and you got rid of Ben Affleck, even though he's just kind of finally starting to work, in Flash, I thought he was very good, so he's gone, but she stays on. Why aren't they consistent? I'm sure there's other people that are just don't like her for sexism reasons, but I do think people that haven't been completely sold on the reboot and recasting everybody but had made peace with it got this news and was like, oh, there's actually going to be this actor that does stay on, and it's one who was in a movie kind of recently that wasn't very good, so people aren't psyched about that. So I'm glad that there is consistency there. I'm also glad that I think there's people who are not as plugged in, people are going to see a Wonder Woman thing, and if she was in it, they would go, oh, does this count for the new stuff? Because I thought they were getting new people. Does that mean Henry Cavill Superman isn't the same guy? It would just, there's too confusing for the casual audience. There needs to be a big thing in the beginning of, I guess, Blue Beetle now, but it doesn't matter. And they can't really do this because they're not promoting the movie. But James Gunn needs to make another video that comes out, that goes on Twitter and just says, hey, everybody, we're starting fresh right now. All the stuff from the old movies doesn't count. Everything from here on in counts, but don't expect to see any of the old actors. Now, I do think it's a little tricky to understand what Peacemaker's deal is with all of this, but really, the part of this that confuses me the most is Amanda Waller. We're getting another Waller project, the show called Waller. I assume they're going to keep the Waller from the Waller movies, the Suicide Squad and The Suicide Squad, and also Peacemaker, played by Viola Davis. She's a very popular part of that universe. She's a really solid actor who is very well suited for this part and seems to enjoy doing it. And she has a lot of history in these movies that is something you could work with. So she has an arc that's been set up as something that if we wanted to redeem her, that could work. Or if we wanted to turn her into the next Darth Vader and make her just a super villain, that could work too. The problem is we are to understand that people like Henry Cavill from our old Superman, people like Ben Affleck are all getting recast. Even John Cena's Peacemaker, I'm not quite sure if that counts. But I would have to assume if the second or third project or whatever in this, and I believe the second one that was announced was the Waller show, when he said that, I just assumed that meant Viola Davis Waller. So I guess maybe we're recasting her. I would be okay with pretending that scene from the end of Peacemaker where the Justice League shows up and it's Ezra Miller and Jason Momoa. I'd be okay with all of us just pretending that never happened and doesn't count. And then we just go on from there and we can keep Peacemaker and the Amanda Waller from Peacemaker, we can keep that in continuity. Because I also think we should keep Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. She's good. We don't have to keep all of the things she's done so far canon, but I think she works. I don't think there's any good reason to recast her. This is all to say, I think the issue with a full recast, but keeping certain people, I think you can get away with Waller because she can just be the only actor that has ever played Amanda Waller. And especially because Suicide Squad was followed by The Suicide Squad, and there was all this wait, does that count? Did this all happen? Or is this a full reboot? I think people would be okay with that. With Wonder Woman and Gal Gadot, she is a main player in this universe that is a big movie star on all the posters, and that I think would confuse people. So I think for that reason, it is good that casual fans don't have to figure this out. I do think she'll come back eventually. I do think they'll do a Crisis on Infinite Earths and do their multiverse thing, and she will show up, and it'll be a big deal, and people will like it. I think if anything, we were maybe a little too casual with our Wonder Woman cameos as of late. She is in Shazam 2, and she is in The Flash. I don't know if she's in Blue Beetle or Aquaman The Lost Kingdom, but like, I think this is one of those things where it's like, the less you see, maybe the better, so that the cameos are big. Like, if she shows up in all of them, you know, it just becomes a little less special. So I think it is good that she is no longer in these movies, and we have a report from, I believe, Deadline that very definitively says James Gunn is not continuing the Gal Gadot Wonder Woman continuity. She's not going to be in the new DCU, and it's not going to be an Elseworlds thing. We're starting completely fresh. There's a new Wonder Woman. A lot of people have suggested a lot of different actors. I think May Calmaway from Moon Knight played Lila is a good pick. She's the one I've seen thrown around a lot recently, and like, I'd be happy with her. But also, like, I wouldn't have cast Gal Gadot at the time they were making Wonder Woman. I remember saying, and this was a long time ago, that I thought Gina Carano would be a great Wonder Woman. That was one of the things of fan casting, you know, and this is why I think I've grown a lot as a fan caster. I understand why we wanted Gina Carano. She's like the tough woman, and like, she's strong, and she's on like what was it, American Gladiators, so she had like an image, and I think at the time we wanted the buff, tough Wonder Woman. I think we still do, and I don't think at the time either Gal Gadot was like seen as like a prestige actor in the way that, like, you know, Gina Carano was not. But I just think, you know, we've learned our lesson. But I do think I've seen a lot of actors that could work, a lot of people that have been suggested. I'm like, yeah, that one's a good pick too. So that is thought one. Good, she's not in these anymore. Thought two, she was good. And I think one of the things I've noticed over the last couple of days with people talking about Wonder Woman and Gal Gadot and all of those movies and all of her appearances, I think Wonder Woman 84 and Justice League really colored people's opinion of Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. And I think they kind of took the place of Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman, and of course Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman. And I think retroactively, probably mostly because of memes of the like, Kal-El, no, or the, you know, just most of Wonder Woman 84, we've kind of collectively decided that she was not good at that job. Like, she was not a good Wonder Woman. I do feel like, I don't think that's like the full majority opinion, but I do think I've seen a lot of people that are like, good, get her out of here, get some new blood in. She was really good in the first Wonder Woman movie. Like, I'm not saying she's the greatest actor ever, and I don't think Gal Gadot, I think she's been in some roles that aren't great, you know, like Red Notice and stuff like that. So like, I'm not saying she's, you know, the next Meryl Streep or anything. But I am saying, as a person taking on this role in Wonder Woman and in Batman v Superman, I think she was pretty much perfect. She had a really strong presence, that interaction where she jumps in and does the big thing where she saves Ben Affleck and, you know, has the shield and she's fighting Doomsday with her sword. Like, she was great. And the fact that that movie was such a huge success, a lot of it came from kind of the moment, a lot of it came from the writing and the directing and stuff that Patty Jenkins was good at the time. And like, I don't know if she wrote the first Wonder Woman movie, but I know she directed it. And like, they directed a movie that has like a silly CGI ending that I'm sure the studio mandated. But like, I think we need to credit where credit is due. She was good. That Wonder Woman movie was good. Not perfect, but good. And her performance was good. Had a lot of humanity. She was very likable. Her chemistry with Chris Pine is very fun. And like, Wonder Woman 84 had a lot of stuff that worked. Like that first action scene where she shows up and, you know, throws her tiara at the security cameras at the mall and, you know, catches people with the lasso. Like, that's great Wonder Womaning. I do think that movie made a lot of really bad choices that ended up giving the movie a lot of like bad will, and a lot of people like, wow, that stunk. And it was hard to forget. Like, you kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater there. It feels like that's how people are talking about Gal Gadot in general, is like, she has been a very important figure in superhero movies, in the mainstreaming of Wonder Woman and Diana as a character. And I don't want us to kind of pretend that Wonder Woman 84 was a whole story and good, we're getting rid of her and we're going to get a new person. And to be fair, I'm sure we've made fun on my podcast, mostly nitpicking, of a lot of Wonder Woman 84 because it was a really weird movie. And on our Red Notice podcast, we've also said that I think she was pretty miscast in that role. However, in the right role, which Wonder Woman was in 2017 and 2015 when Batman v Superman came out, I think she's really good. And I think we owe Gal Gadot if this is her last time as this character, especially because this like exit is so weird. And there's interviews where she's saying, I'm excited to be in more of these movies. They said I'm going to, and then there's another interview that comes out the next day that's like, no, we checked with them and they said no. I think this exit, especially with the Flash being her last performance, just because I haven't heard anything about her being in Blue Beetle or Aquaman the Lost Kingdom, if the Flash is her last performance, I'm kind of bummed. I wish she got a big cool moment, or like Zack Snyder's Justice League was the last time we saw her on screen, because I think Gal and I think that character deserved it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with criticizing, performances in some of these movies. Like, these are people that are doing a job and we can see it. So we know when someone's not doing a great job in a movie. We know when someone's miscast or when a line read is weird or something like that is flat. Kind of like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man did back in the 2000s. Like after Spider-Man 3, it was all the memes. It was all him dancing and all that stuff. And I do think for a little bit, we went through this period as nerd culture, and I'm including myself in that, of kind of forgetting how great he was in Spider-Man's 1 and 2. And I think we got over that pretty quickly. I just think we don't need to really go through that with Gal Gadot in Wonder Woman 84, which is, it wasn't a good movie. She was okay in it, but she was really good in Wonder Woman. She's really good in Batman v Superman. And I think as a community comic book movie people, Wonder Woman fans, comic book fans, we were lucky to have her. And I think her character of Diana and Wonder Woman is going to go down as one of the great, definitive versions of this character. It is a lot of people's first real introduction to Wonder Woman, and I think we owe her a lot of credit. I think she did a really good job. So that's all I'm saying. Not perfect, maybe not the best actor in the whole wide world, but an actor who really met the moment and had a really weird exit, and I think deserved a little better. But our comic book nerd culture thing, our perspective is strange. We go through waves of liking a thing, not liking a thing, liking a thing, not liking a thing. And, we've done this enough times that we could just skip the parts that we'll look back on in a year and go, we were wrong. So that's all I'm saying. Then we will fan cast the next Wonder Woman, and I'm sure James Gunn wants to cast them as quickly as possible to end all of these rumors and all of this conversation. And I hope that the writers and actors strike gets resolved quickly and fairly, more importantly, fairly than quickly. But I hope that that is done and we are able to get back to enjoying this news and these performances and getting these new characters, because I think everybody really wants them. We loved Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, and we can't wait to see what's coming next. So James, another person who watches all my movies, I'm sure you got a cool pick in mind, and I can't wait to see who it is. So end of rant. That's all I got. Thank you to everybody for watching this video. Now follow me on X or Blue Sky or whatever. Go to the Nando V Movies Discord. The links are always in the video. And right now on Nebula, there is a video fan casting all of James Gunn's friends in the DC universe. So all the characters, mostly all the characters in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, seeing what roles they would be right for. So as of right now, if you want to watch that video, it's live on Nebula. So sign up for Nebula. And if you do, use the link go.nebula.tv/Nando to sign up, because it helps the channel. That's all. This is not an ad for Nebula. It's just saying there's a great video there that I think you would like if you care about this kind of stuff, and also if you want the discount. That's how you do it. All right, goodbye. End of video.